Hey there, beautiful people. Today I am talking about a supplement that I have used for years and years in my practice that aids with weight loss, lowers blood sugars, contributes to gut health, and decreases heart disease risk, and much more. And all of this is with outstanding research studies. Sound too good to be true? Well, just keep on watching. So hey there, this is Lindy, registered dietitian, clinical and licensed nutritionist and nutrition detective. So what is this amazing supplement? It is something called berberine. And like I said, I have been using it for years with really great results. So what in the world is berberine? Well, it's actually a plant chemical called an alkaloid, and it can be found in a wide variety of herbs. It's been used for thousands of years for many of the things that I'm going to talk to you about today in Ayurvedic medicine as well as Chinese medicine. It's kind of made its resurgence in the last couple years because of all the good research behind it. In fact, I was sitting talking to a physician in our area. We were talking about some mutual patients. It's a referral physician, and we were talking about some supplements and pharmaceuticals, and I mentioned berberine to this man, and he looked it up on PubMed. PubMed is a clearing site for really all medical research, and it just thousands and thousands of research studies are on PubMed, and a ton of research came up on berberine. And with all of the benefits that I'm going to tell you about today, and to be quite honest, he was extremely impressed with the research. So I was excited about that. But one of the things that I want to tell you too is just really, I have to always say this, sorry, that disclaimer is always consult with a healthcare professional before you start any kind of supplement program. But the very first benefit is that it lowers blood sugars. Now that's great, of course, for our diabetic patients and our pre-diabetics. There is I guess it's called like a review of studies, of 14 different studies that state that berberine actually does just as well as the diabetes medications, metformin as well as glipizide. I think that's significant. And so it has some powerful blood sugar lowering effect. So that's the reason that you have to, if you're on blood sugar lowering medication, you really do have to work with a healthcare provider before taking berberine. So, but the other thing that is significant for someone like me, and maybe for someone like you, is that I know that most of the people watching, as well as myself, we are something called insulin resistant, and that is because of our food supply. That is just because of the way that we've been eating for, the last 20, 30 years has contributed to insulin resistance. Most of us are, about 80%, 90%. And I can say that I pretty much was at one time, even though my blood sugar levels are really, really good at this time. I'm still probably a little bit insulin resistant, so I take berberine. And so it helps with insulin resistance. That means basically insulin resistance, I'm going to talk about insulin every single video, right? Insulin resistance is basically just your cells being worn out from too much insulin being produced over the years. It's like they become resistant to the glucose going in and doing what it should be doing, and then of course that does lead eventually to prediabetes and diabetes. So a lot of us are like that. Probably pretty much most of us. So it helps your cells to become more sensitive, and that's significant. It's significant in many different ways, for weight loss, for pain, for every physiological function. So the second thing is that it fights fat storage and weight gain. And there are some significant studies again with this, and one of the reasons for this is because it has a compound known as AMPK. And that is a very important compound because it influences how the cells process energy. When you don't have enough AMPK, your cells your fat storage mechanism goes into play. You're just going to store more fat. And it just tells the cells, you don't have enough AMPK, store some fat. You have enough AMPK and it tells the cells to burn that fat for energy, and that's what most of us want to do. Other nutrients that activate AMPK are things that I've talked about. I'll link them below. Something called alpha lipoic acid, which is one of my darlings as well, as you'll see from the video below, as well as omega-3s. I'll link that below. And quercetin, I'm going to do a video on quercetin, over the moon about quercetin for many different reasons, and curcumin and resveratrol. And the other thing about AMPK that is so exciting is that it contributes to cellular repair, and so that our cells stay younger as we age. Like, let's see a show of hands, right? Who wants that? Me. I'm gonna raise my hand. Also, new research shows that berberine contributes to gut health. Now, this is new on the scene. Berberine contributes to proliferating the good bacteria. I'll link some things below on that. If you want to learn more about gut health, it's absolutely imperative. If you want good health, you must have good gut health. If you want good health, and I'm not even talking about you folks that have GI issues. So one study said that it even worked better than an antibiotic in treating something called SIBO, which is small intestinal bowel overgrowth, meaning there's just too much of the bad bacteria in the small intestine. Bad. There's so many repercussions from that. So it helped with that. Then the fourth benefit of berberine is that it decreases heart disease risk. Why does it do that? For many different reasons. Okay, so we know that cholesterol is not the leading problem in heart disease. We know that. Everybody knows that, right? Last 5-10 years, the research is overwhelming about cholesterol. Of course, we don't want our cholesterol through the roof, but it's triglycerides. It's triglycerides and blood sugar. Those are the two evils that contribute more to that plaque laying down in our arteries. Berberine helps to decrease triglycerides because it decreases blood sugar. So that's amazing. The other thing that it does is that it decreases blood pressure because it increases nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is very, very important for many different reasons. There are some amino acids that I use in my practice that do that as well, but berberine does that. And what nitric oxide does is it relaxes those arteries. It increases blood flow and decreases blood pressure. It also decreases the incidence of atherosclerosis. So that's so positive when it comes to heart disease. And some preliminary studies are showing that it could decrease the risk or help with afibrillation as well as other types of arrhythmias. Consult a healthcare professional before you start berberine. It does lower that blood sugar. So you need to work with someone when you're using it. But how do you take berberine? How do you take it? It has a very short half-life, meaning that it doesn't stay in your system very long. And so really the way I take it is I take it 3 times a day. 500 milligrams, I have my patients doing that 3 times a day, meaning like 1,500 milligrams. I use something by Douglas Laboratory. There's a lot of great brands. Let me show it to you. It's called Berberine Balance. I love this. I think the price point is really good. I'm going to link that link below if you'd like to get it from my dispensary for like 20% off, which is a great deal. But it also has a little bit of alpha lipoic acid, not a lot in it, not just a tiny bit, and also a little bit of grapeseed extract. So they all work in synergy with one another. Remember the AMPK, good stuff there, and you want to activate that more. Okay, so it lowers blood sugar. It fights fat storage and weight gain. It contributes to gut health. It decreases heart disease risk. And really, there are no side effects. It has a great safety profile. I know it just sounds too good to be true, but this one's a no-brainer, I believe, in so many ways. So you may want to try berberine. It's just a great compound, and I can recommend it highly. And thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. And also, if you could please follow me on Twitter and Instagram, as well as liking my Lindy Ford Nutrition and Wellness page on Facebook. I post all the time great beneficial information. And join our YouTube family. We would love to have you. Please subscribe today. There's a subscribe button down there. And go ahead and hit that little bell so you know when new videos are coming out all the time. Posting a lot. And just remember this year and remember today that everybody deserves the freedom to live their best life. I will see you in the next video.